Allie.
Hey, Fraser, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. Other than this crazy COVID and crazy technology and crazy weather. So you put those together and it's a fun Friday. But thanks so much for coming on. And why don't you just introduce yourself with your name and what do you do?
Absolutely. So my name's AlliCollier. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Realty. My office is based out of McLean, and my team is the Wethman Group. So what I do is I help people find their perfect home, and if they decide they'd like to sell their home, I help them with the process of getting their house on the market and just getting the best offer possible.
Super. And how did you get into the business?
So when I first moved to the area, this was several years ago, I was working, an office desk job like most people do when they come out here. And I just decided, truthfully, I was just bored out of my mind. I mean, they'd give me more projects and I would get through them and I just learned the process. And I just decided that there was too much monotony. I had too much, I just didn't like to sit around all day. I hated being in the office all day. So I decided at that time that I was younger at the time, and I thought, well, if there's a time for me to take a chance on something and really take a risk, because when you get into real estate, it's not like you have a salary anymore, that was the time. At that time, I didn't have a mortgage. I had no pets. I didn't have any children. So I decided it was the perfect time, and I had a solid amount of money saved just in case I really did flop. So I went for it. So just the constraints of the office job, if anybody has thought about pursuing their dreams, I just think failure is too many people's biggest fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that, Allie?
I started about 3 years ago. So, yeah.
That's great. That's great. And so did you join Keller Williams at that time, or how did that go?
Yeah, so I did. I joined Keller Williams. Specifically, though, I was looking for a really solid team. My mom's a realtor. Mm-hmm. So I had kind of discussed with her the best way to get into the business, and she was really adamant that she thought if I joined a good team, I would be successful in the business. So I ended up meeting my team lead, and she was with Keller Williams. So we primarily work out of Alexandria and Arlington, but mm-hmm. I met her and I joined that office mostly to be with her team because she was just a really solid leader, and I haven't regretted it at all. I'm still on her team. She's awesome.
So for people who don't know, what is a team? What is a real estate team? And how do you know if somebody's on a team or if somebody's a single agent or what have you?
That's a great question. And there are a lot of solo agents out there. And truthfully, the people who are on a team versus a solo agent, there's not a huge difference because we're still independent contractors. So you would want to ask because there's not really any way to know up front. The benefits I see to a team are if I'm sick or out of town, I have someone there who can take you guys, anyone to see a house. They're not out of luck when I'm gone. Mm-hmm. So there's just a very solid support system, and it's just easier to collaborate. We have a lot of great events. We have a perks program. So there's just stuff that makes it unique to us because we have multiple people contributing things to make it a stronger just opportunity for people. We have stuff to offer outside of just our real estate services.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think would surprise people who, maybe they know what an agent does, but they've never been an agent? What would surprise them most about your business?
I think the amount of paperwork. So everybody watches HGTV and they think, oh, like all you do all day is you go show houses maybe, in the middle of the day or at night, and then you don't do anything else. And I don't think they understand. I spend hours every day answering emails, doing kind of the behind the scenes stuff. So, you write up the contract when someone finds a house they like, but then after that, you've got a ton of stuff to process. You've got to schedule the home inspection, work with the title company to make sure there's no liens or anything like that. You've got to get in touch with the condo association. So just the sheer amount of paperwork that real estate agents have to deal with, I don't think anybody really thinks about it. I think people think that I'm just hang out during the day, which is not the case. So honestly, I end up working really long hours a lot of the time because I do work, a lot of people want to see houses after the non-traditional business hours, or the traditional business hours. So I'm usually out at night showing houses. And then I also work all day usually on marketing, paperwork, all sorts of stuff.
So you were talking about the benefits of being in a team, and one of the questions I have is about, like people's systems or their processes, or maybe it's technology, but that sort of, you kind of look at it and you're like, yeah, we do this thing well, or this really helps us out, helps us serve our clients. Is there anything that jumps up for you about the Wethman Group that's like, yeah, this is we got this going on in terms of how we do our business?
Well, everything's really fluid. So I just feel really fortunate because we do have a client care coordinator. So you have me, but you also have her, and she checks in every single day with tasks that I need to be doing to make sure that we're on track. So that's really nice. It's, in my career, I've never missed a deadline, and that happens to people. So the biggest thing is we've got her in the background. The other thing is we have a perks program. So we have this, it's called a loaner program, and we have items that people can borrow when they worked with our team. We have a 14-foot moving truck that people can use at any time. It's got moving dollies and moving blankets in it. We've got leaf shredder, lawnmower, cooler, chairs and tables you can borrow. So we have this really cool program where after you've worked with us, you have all this stuff that you can use to maintain your house. And we offer events throughout the year. So it's a very smooth process because we have really good agents on our team. Honestly, it doesn't always matter what brokerage they're with. It really depends on the individual agent and whether or not they're organized and they know what they're doing. But the biggest thing is I feel like with our team, it's a community afterwards where we still interact, we still follow up. We have a huge vetted contractor list if anybody needs to know where to go for repairs. So we just want to be their resource, and we do stay in touch because we have a lot of items that people can borrow, and we have really fun events during the year.
You could have added toilet paper to that list of items. You could have just had a whole truck full of just driving around like Santa Claus, throwing out rolls of toilet paper.
I'm actually sending out hand sanitizer wipes to my friends right now. I've been working on that. Another thing I've been doing during the day.
Yeah. All right. So one question I like to ask is a funny story or anecdote. And I will tell you, Allie, I just got off the phone with somebody, and the story was that a gentleman was walking through an open house, or I'm sorry, she was taking him through a house, and he sat down in the middle of the kitchen and started clipping his toenails.
I thought the story was good. I think that one's worse.
I was shocked and appalled by that. In fact, I don't think I'll ever say that again, but because I was expecting, she was talking about how people like feel comfortable when they're in a house. They're like, oh, that's great. And I was just assuming he was going to sit there and say, oh, I'm never leaving. I love this house. But the toenail thing was odd. So Allie, what's a funny story or lesson learned from your business experience?
So I think when you're in real estate, you never know what people are going to do in other people's houses, because mine was kind of along this lines. I think that one might be worse though. So one time I was out showing houses, and for some reason the lockbox was broken, so I could not get my clients into this house. Well, they saw a house that was, for sale down the street. So they go, and while I'm trying to get the door open, they go knock on the house just to see if someone's home, to see if they can go inside, which, to be honest with you, is not like great practice in real estate. You should not do that. You're usually supposed to schedule a showing. But anyways, so what I do is I go over there and I apologize to the seller. She did open the door, but she said, hey, why don't you guys come on in? Our house is under contract, but maybe, it'll fall through. So be worth it to have someone come in. So I'm not kidding. This woman, she was super nice, but she walked us around to everything, like to the point where she opened the attic so that my clients could go up and look in the attic. So I'll never forget, at the very end, she allowed us to go down into the basement, without her. And, my client had to go to the bathroom. And so I'm still on the phone trying to get a hold of the agent where the house we're supposed to go to. And she went in there and went to the bathroom, and then the toilet would not flush. And the seller was home. So I did have to go upstairs and tell the seller that I was really sorry. And it was very embarrassing, and I hope it never happens again.
We've got this really great list of plumbers that I can refer you to.
So honestly, it's okay if you have to go to the bathroom. I mean, really, you shouldn't do it. But if you need to go, okay. But I always tell clients now, run the water first to make sure the water's running, because I don't want to leave here without at least cleaning up.
Right. Well,
So
I have an idea, Allie. For these stories, we need to do almost like a choose your own adventure type response, where it's like, underneath Allie telling the story, it's like the toilet didn't flush. There was a rat. There was a body in the basement, and you get to choose which one you think it is.
everybody has a horror story, to be honest with you, because yeah, she was so embarrassed too. I felt I like everybody involved. I was just like, this is terrible. Like, let's just get out of this house. Right. Apologize to the seller. Let's go.
So now, Allie, where do you live? What community do you live in?
I'm in Kingstown.
Okay, so what do you love most about Kingstown? Either specific businesses or generally the community, but like what is it when people are thinking about saying to you, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Kingstown, like what just sort of makes you your eyes light up? And for you in this situation with the lamp, your eyes are always lighting up, right? But what lights you up about Kingstown?
The thing I love most about it is just the tight-knit community. The people around here, they seem to really know each other. We really like each other. And everything's close. It's almost like you're out in a suburb and the price point is better, but you can still walk to restaurants and grocery stores. So everything's really close. There's still the metro station. A few shout outs. I really love going to the pet supply store in Franconia. Those people are the sweetest people and they will always help you. I love it. You get a little doggy bag and bring home treats for free. They'll give you a little bag to fill. So that's cute. Safeway over in the Kingstown Center, always really organized. I've been going there a lot during all the coronavirus stuff. And then I love sushi and matsui. It's over in Lansdowne Center. Also really good. So a few places that I really like. But my favorite thing is just there's tons of stuff around here. You don't have to go very far. We've got Safeway, Wegmans, Harris Teeter, Walmart, all within like a mile and a half of my house. So it's really nice to have the Kingstown Town Center. Then we have Lansdowne over by Wegmans. We have the Franconia Springfield Mall, which has tons of good restaurants. So I just really enjoy all the options around here and the people.
Yeah. No, that's great. And so
like neighborhood, Yeah,
no, it's like it mixes the small town and lots and lots of choices. That's great. So one question, we're well into 2020, but what is a personal New Year's resolution or project that you have either been working on or you're excited about working on for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so my biggest thing this year was I wanted to kind of expand. I know all my neighbors on my immediate street pretty well, but I really wanted to get to know more neighbors, which honestly has been challenging given the current situation. But I really would like to get more involved in the HOA and, get to know more people that aren't just on my block. So I would just like to expand my network at some point. So when things start opening, when things open up again and I'm allowed to go around and door knock and say hi to people, I will be doing that. And getting more involved in some of the classes that they offer, exercise classes and the HOA stuff, that kind of stuff. I would really just like to be further involved in this area.
Perfect. All right. Well, and Allie, hold tight, but thanks so much for joining me on the Meet the Business interview. It was very fun.
Anytime. Thanks so much for having me.